Talk more about this, and joining us with more context on the investigation is former FBI Special Agent Ken Gray. So good morning to you, sir. Thanks for being here.
Good morning. Thank
you.
So
you just heard our Craig Treadway reporting there. The FBI removed a heck of a lot of evidence from Brian Laundrie's home yesterday, right, in Northport, Florida. So what will investigators focus on now that they have all of that evidence? When does he officially become a suspect?
Well, we're still waiting to see the results of the autopsy report that was supposed to start this morning. And so it'll require a determination of cause of death for Gabby to determine whether or not there is even any reason to continue on this investigation of Brian Laundrie. Of course, it's more than likely going to be found that she did die by some violent means, and that he will then become a suspect in the case. But at the moment, this is simply a continuation of the missing person report. The next step will be the determination of cause of death, and then naming him as a suspect, and then we'll see where it proceeds from there.
I mean, obviously, he's the key witness. We really need to talk to him. And how hard is it then for the FBI agents to navigate a case like this, especially since it covers so much ground and he got a pretty good head start out there?
Yeah, that's a very good point, is that there's no guarantee that he is there in the Carlton Preserve, that he very well could be out of the country by now, for all we know, or he may be dead himself. And so there's a lot of territory to cover there, not only geographic territory, but also a lot of territory as far as different investigative leads.
So let me ask you this, because there's a lot of attention being played on Brian Laundrie, his whereabouts, right, why he didn't talk to police, but then there's also a focus on his parents and why they weren't detained when they started acting, I guess what some were calling suspiciously, took Brian's Ford Mustang from the nature reserve, which was where the search first took place, but didn't report their son missing until several days later. So can you kind of just walk us through, was there a misstep here in not interrogating them or talking to them?
So there is no requirement for people to talk to the police. You have a Fifth Amendment right to not have to testify against yourself. He was not a suspect in a crime at that time that he showed up back in Florida. It was unknown whether or not even a crime had occurred. But now it's starting to look more and more like a crime did occur. And so now the law enforcement has different avenues to pursue as this becomes more of a homicide investigation. It's still not a homicide investigation at this moment, but it's starting to look like it's going to become that way. You got to remember that you have to establish first that a crime occurred before you investigate the crime.
Understood.
And before you have all the tools available for you for that investigation.
And
so we're really pushing very quickly into this before you actually have established that a crime occurred.
But sadly, a very tragic end to this case.
Very tragic.
Yeah. Ken Gray, thanks so much for joining us this morning and providing us your valuable insight to this case.